if you haven't you use LinkedIn, just get on there and kind of check it out, start responding to people, posting things, engaging, connecting, get a feel for the platform, and then you'll get a better idea of how you can leverage it for your business.
Agent Power Huddle is a daily jumpstart, giving you all the tools you need to create an amazing real estate career. Led by top experts in the field, you'll learn how to sell more houses in less time while creating the life you want. Welcome to the Agent Power Huddle.
What's going on, Casey? This is going to be a fun one today. We've got a special guest here today. His name is Casey OToole. He runs a company called MyLink Solution, but he's here talking today about growth hacks for LinkedIn events. And I say that slowly because I have to remember what the words are, because I told him before we started recording, I don't even know what a LinkedIn event is. and Casey, how are you this morning? First of all, let me acknowledge you, welcome you here.
I am doing good. I mean, gosh, just when I thought there couldn't be anything more exciting than LinkedIn, we talk about LinkedIn events, which is like, so yeah.
Well, you'll have to tell me why, because I didn't even know what they were. And you told me, what percentage of people do you think have never heard of LinkedIn events?
So I would say probably 85% of the people have never heard of LinkedIn events. And of the 15% that have, probably only 5% of them have actually used them. It's not one of their kind of key markets and key features that people tend to use, but I don't know why.
Interesting. All right. And just so you guys know, in case this is your first Agent Power Huddle you've stumbled upon, Casey is actually an active realtor, runs a team, sells houses in Southern California. My name is Jesse Zagorsky. I'm a broker associate with EXP. I sell houses in San Diego. Casey, how do you describe your market area? Are you just Santa Barbara-ish, or how do you describe your market?
So me and my brother Sean are partners. He works Ventura County and I work Santa Barbara County. So pretty much from Oxnard go through Goleta.
Love it. All beautiful areas. All right. So let's dive in with LinkedIn events. So what do people have to know about, like, what is a LinkedIn event? Let's just start by, before we can talk about growth hacks, let's describe what is a LinkedIn event.
I mean, it's just kind of how it sounds. It's just a simple event that you can create on LinkedIn and invite your network to join, right? So
like a Facebook event,
like a Facebook event, but okay. There's a couple of things about it that kind of make it a little bit more unique. But I mean, do you want me to share my screen, or should I?
Yeah, share screen. Let's dive in.
So, I mean, again, it's the same thing as a Facebook event, but what's nice about LinkedIn is that you can invite a lot of people to the event all at once per profile. So you could use your profile, and if you have more than 1,000 people in your connection network, you can invite all of them at the same time. You can invite 1,000 people a week. And so per profile. So Lisa, if you have a LinkedIn profile and you have over 1,000 people, you can invite them to the event. And what's nice is that when you invite them to the event, it comes into their email. So like they get an email saying, Jesse invited you to the event. So they are definitely going to be seeing it. And then also when they click on accept the event, it will ask them to register for it, which includes their email, first name, last name, and information, which you can then use to remarket to them about the event or remarket to them after the event, providing surveys, et cetera. So the amount of people that you can invite to it at once is really key. And then also the information you can get to remarket to them afterwards is also key.
That's super cool. By the way, what he has on the screen is one of our other shows. It's called Teach Me Something. It's a game show, and Casey's going to be a contestant on it. He's got 2 minutes to teach Long Done something about real estate. I love it that you got the post-party recording. So that's the concept, though, that you're using with this. I love the leverage, right? The leverage that you can invite. So how would you do you use this, obviously, with your real estate technology business, but how would an agent use this? Like, are you doing it for virtual events only, for in-person events, for both?
Yeah, so it works best with virtual events. You could probably do. I mean, we've helped other companies reach out for their in-person events. They just use it as a platform for kind of just communication to the masses about an event. We've used it for real estate as well. We did a Ventura and Santa Barbara County real estate market update. And so what we were doing is we just simply created this event on LinkedIn. We then invited all of our connections to the event. We had 106 attendees for the event, all people who are interested in learning about the real estate market, and about 20% of them attend. So obviously not everyone attends, but even if they don't, you have 106 people that are interested, those are leads, and the 20 people that are there, those are now relationships.
So you had 106 people that clicked the button and said, yes, they were coming, or you invited 106 people?
Those people said that, yes, they're coming, attendees.
Wow. That's amazing. Okay. And so in case you guys missed, by the way, Casey was on Agent Power Huddle about a month ago. You can check out his last episode here, but you use LinkedIn almost as like, I don't want to say a social farm, but it's social farm of a way. Like you've created a database, you've created connections that you're nurturing here on LinkedIn, correct?
Yeah, it's our farm. I mean, we started to learn how powerful LinkedIn is after we were doing home buying presentations for local companies here in town. Basically, me and my brother, we present at Procore, Logic Monitor, these big tech companies in the area. And then after each presentation, I would go into LinkedIn, connect with all their employees, and then I would send them follow-up messages saying, hey, we're offering all Procore employees a credit toward closing. Let's jump on a Zoom call and talk about real estate. And we got so many deals from just that one manual process of connecting with people who we have a relationship with, kind of, and then selling them something, that we then kind of created this system around it to then do all that automatically.
Wow, it's so cool. And so, I mean, this is pretty amazing response. So you have 106 people raise their hand. And I mean, that means more people are still seeing your name in your group. And out of the 106, if even 20 of them showed up, that's still pretty impressive, right? Yeah,
no, it is. And what's nice is that, because it comes into their email, they have a higher propensity of clicking on like, yes, I'll attend, even if they don't really, and then they're like me. It's like, if something sounds interesting, I'll say, yes, I'm going to attend. And if I happen to have that time available at that time, then I'll join it. Right. But even that simple, like, yes, I'll attend, to me is like, okay, cool. They're interested at least. Also, what's kind of nice too, which I'll probably be going over with long, is that when you have them fill out the registration form, when they register for the event, there's a trigger in the software called Zapier, which you can then zap them into another email sequence, which you can send them emails or text messages like reminders or surveys for after the event. So you can do a lot of automation with it as well.
All right, tell me more about that. And I mean, I want to expand. I mean, this is really cool how much you can do with that. So I want to go a little deeper on that part so once you create the event, and then what are you adding on to this thing?
So from there, I created an action plan and this is a simple action plan, but an action plan in Follow Up Boss, where I just wanted to kind of send them the link for the actual event, because I don't want them to have to log back into LinkedIn to then go, where's the event? Where's the event? So what I'm doing is I'm sending them an email saying like, hey, here's the link for the event. Keep this in your inbox. So when the event starts, you'll know where to go. So, I mean, I've already had, so this is for the event in a few days, but 145 people have already completed that action plan.
Wow. That's really cool. And so that's just a simple, you said it's a Zapier integration with whatever CRM you're using, and then it triggers that email to be sent out.
Yep, exactly.
And then afterwards, do you do traditional follow-up? Do you do what else do you do to kind of connect and build the relationship? Or is there any specific calls to action when you're doing the actual event for a real estate market update? Or are you just literally offering value and building relationship and going from there?
So that's where like my skill set stops. I'm not the best at follow-up, but I would recommend everyone who has like VAs or ISAs, like calling everyone who's said that they're going to attend and really getting a hold of people who are actually there. But yeah, put them into your CRM, tag them as attended, tag them as registered, have different flows of how you want to be reaching out to them. But there's a lot of things you can do once you have them in your event network.
Can I just tell you how much I appreciate your total transparency? You're like, I suck at the follow-up part. Like, you're still able to create massive business even without having robust follow-up. What you're doing on the front end is working and sparking enough conversation. That's pretty cool.
Yes, it's fun. It's fun. I mean, I really like the whole growth hack approach of just generating business using automation tools and automation and like customized automation. It's just that's a part that's fun to me. I don't like getting hung up on the phone very much.
So do you always do the market updates? Do you have other type of virtual events you've done that have worked, or clients you've worked with, and examples of things they've done?
So I've done some virtual events with current clients of ours with MyLink solution, where we one of our clients closed over 12 million in sales using our system. So we had him on the show, and we talked about what he's doing. We did like a virtual presentation of one of our listings, 378 Tulane, which is in Ventura, which we sold. But we demonstrated and promoted a listing that we had for sale. And we were able to answer questions live. Answer questions live about the property for everyone who wanted to attend and see the property. So that's kind of different too.
Interesting. And that's also something you could do, I'm assuming, in a listing presentation to show a seller as a point of differentiation. Hey, here's something else you probably not heard from anyone else. We do a LinkedIn event. If the home is in an area where it's appropriate to promote through LinkedIn and that network, it's a pretty cool idea.
Yeah. And that's, So we definitely use this in our listing presentations as we talk about our kind of unique approaches to marketing, because all of these people that are in my network, I've 23,000 people in my network now on LinkedIn, and 24,000. And they're all people that I personally am targeting that I think would want to, that have a fluency or have high-end titles that may be interested in real estate. So it's I can target on, top level executives who work in Santa Barbara, who have more than 10 years of experience. So you can find the cream of the crop and say, hey, not sure you saw my recent event, but we just listed a new property, a luxury property on the beach here in Ventura. And I wanted you to take a look at it because it's hitting the market next week. And I wanted to give you first insights.
And are you getting a lot of responses when you send out stuff like that? Or, if you get any responses, it's still probably a huge plus, because it's almost zero cost in that marketing. What sort of responses do you get from messages like that?
Yeah. So a lot of them are I appreciate it, not interested, out of my price range. But a lot of them are wow, lovely house, or what, I would love to live at the beach, or, it's a very receptive community, right? And then every now and again, it's that one's not for me, but one of my good friends is looking for a house in the Keys. I'm going to afford it to them. So it's so you do get a lot of kind of random communications, but it's a numbers game and a timing game, right?
It is a numbers game and a timing game, but I like in terms of numbers game that the cost is very low to nothing, right? It's if you get some no thank yous, it doesn't look like you're getting very many, if any, FUs, right? They're very politely no thanks, which is, and how much does it cost, and how long does it take to go through to get some positive responses? It seems like it's probably not a heck of a lot of time, correct?
No, not, so I think we need to distinguish between a LinkedIn event and just like LinkedIn messages. LinkedIn events, you're kind of we're kind of gearing all the communication towards the event, right? But if you're just doing direct messages and you're just promoting a listing, you get probably 5 to 7 replies a day.
Interesting. So then back on the events front, what are you showing us on the screen right now? How we make a targeted list?
Yeah, I'm just I'm throwing out some ideas that people could potentially use. So the filters that you can use for the LinkedIn events is location, current companies, school, where they went to school, and industries. So one thought is if you went to a school where you live, like the university where you live, you can find all of the alumni that went to UC Santa Barbara who work in the tech industry, right? Or you can have some sort of UC Santa Barbara Go Gaucho event where you bring everyone together and you kind of brainstorm ideas, or you can, just have a happy hour or whatever you want to do. But it's a way of kind of bringing people together along a shared interest or a shared experience.
I love that. And so you could do a specific event for like, I don't know, UC Santa Barbara. I don't know. I don't even know how to come up with UC Santa Barbara house sellers. I mean, you can probably come up with some way to target something specifically for alumni, right? Or like a real estate update for UCSB alumni, just something to niche it down. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. So I mean, every year there's like a UCSB like annual kind of reunion week, where there's like a Go Gaucho reunion. And so my thought, I mean, we haven't even done this yet, but what I'd like to do is invite everyone to like a virtual happy hour, and kind of like sponsored by the OToole group, where we just kind of bring them together around like stories of UCSB or just like some of their favorite places, like who's in town, just like a way of like kind of bringing everyone together. So
yeah. So now we're not necessarily even making it a specific real estate event. It's just a connection tool. It's just a way to further develop relationships at scale, because you can target the people you want and you can blast out to so many of them at once for an event.
Yep, exactly. And so you can do 1,000 people a week. And so if your event is 3 weeks out, you can send out and you have like 5,000 people in your network. You send out 1,000 the first week, 1,000 the second week. So, and if you had multiple people kind of doing the same thing, it's 1,000 per profile per week.
So that's why it's helpful to have multiple profiles then for this case.
Yeah. So we have a few profiles on our end, and how many people we've invited for this event? We've only done one round so we've invited 7,000 people and gotten 145 people to register.
That seems pretty good.
It's not bad. So I think what happened is I think we must have just sent out another batch of invites, because that does seem a little bit low. You get about a 10% conversion of it.
No, I thought that sounded good. I thought those conversions, you think that conversion's low?
I think so, because usually it's about 10%. No, actually, you're right. Maybe it's like 5%. Yeah, so it's not bad, actually.
Interesting. I mean, and again, you've got to go back to the time, effort, and cost that it goes into this to get this result. I mean, because you could do direct mail, right? Which your cost is going to be significantly higher, right? You could do more labor intensive calling, but it's pretty scary. Like how long does it take you to invite 1,000 people? Not
very long at all. I mean, you literally just kind of go through here, scroll down, and then you can, say Santa Barbara. And then you can mass.
Can you add them all basically? Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah. So apparently, yeah. So our VA must have just invited a bunch more people out. So because it says our invite limit has been hit.
But so you just have this all formatted out there where like you literally have a VA doing this, where you're giving your criteria to them. They're just going through, clicking the button, doing it. But it seems like it's not a very time intensive thing at all.
No, I mean, the hardest part is creating the event and kind of like creating the workflow of like what you want to do with that registration info once you have it. And also hounding your host to make sure that they accept your invite to be a host.
Is that fair?
I'm joking. But no, it doesn't take very much time at all.
He's giving me a hard time, by the way, because I didn't expect that. I'm not a heavy LinkedIn user. I don't know how many of you guys listening are heavy LinkedIn users, or if you're here because you want to learn about LinkedIn. It always blows my mind. On every social platform, there are the users that are really into it, even if it's not your platform of choice. I mean, Casey, you spend a lot of time on LinkedIn. Is there a group of people that like religiously check their messages, check their everything, are on it on a regular basis and reply? And is that pretty common that you have the people who use it really love it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's so of our clients, I feel like the ones that are on LinkedIn religiously and are continually responding back and forth to messages that are coming in, they're getting like 7 or 8 deals a year using our system, just because that's where they're networking. So they don't go to networking events. They don't do like Zoom calls as often as they probably should. They're on LinkedIn and they're like creating relationships on LinkedIn using direct messaging.
Interesting.
Yeah.
If any of you guys are here live, by the way, Matt, Zahira, a couple of the people that we have, if anyone's got questions for Casey, feel free to ask away. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep firing questions. We got about 10 minutes, Casey, is there anything else you want to make sure, strategies that we share that you're like, oh, I got to make sure I tell people if they're like, any mistakes people make with LinkedIn events that they should avoid?
Mistakes. Oh yeah. I mean, so one thing is that when you do create the LinkedIn event, you'll want to create a business page for the event to go out from. So if you don't already have a business page for your real estate group or for whatever company you have, you want to be creating the event from that business page. Because if you create it from your personal profile, the option to make the attendee register goes away. You aren't able to make them register unless it's coming from a company page. Thank you for, because I actually made the mistake. I'm like, gosh, why is no one registering? Like, well, why can't I make them? And then I realized the first time I did it was through the OToole group. And the second time I did it through my personal profile. I'm like, this doesn't make sense. But yeah,
but that's huge, dude.
Yeah.
That's a good thing for people to know.
Yep. And so you want to create a business page, and then you can start inviting people from that to the event from the business page. Also, make sure you have a large network of people in your LinkedIn connections, because if you don't, obviously that kind of defeats the purpose of the mass invites.
Right. Yes. So it starts with step one. You got to build connections, which obviously they can watch your other episode. They can check out your company, My Link Solutions. It can help you in an automated way to build those connections. I get paid $0 if you guys use this platform. I just think it's a really cool platform and I like saving time. So check out that one. I'll plug it for you. Check out his platform. And then that's what you can use to build those connections. And then these are just some of the ideas that you can use once you build the connections, then you leverage it. All right. So any other common mistakes or with events or anything else that you've done that was kind of a learning curve for you, or other than that, was it pretty straightforward out of the gate?
I've had a hard time with LinkedIn Live. I know that's kind of a new thing that they allow certain users to have if you apply for it. I've tried it, and you have to kind of use a third party like is it Ducks? Some sort of like live streaming platform, which I've never used before. I've had a hard time making that work. So what I've just been using is just Zoom. If you have like a Zoom webinar, you can create a Zoom webinar and make that the live link. So because you have options of, do you want this to be like an internal event or an external event?
Yep.
I would recommend just going with an external event, because I understand Zoom a lot better than I do LinkedIn Live.
And probably most of the viewers as well. If it's a hard interface for you, who knows on the viewer side. So what he's saying, guys, is when you create this event, you could either drive traffic to like a Zoom, like we're on now, those of you on this with us live, or I didn't even know they have something called LinkedIn Live. So you could host this native to LinkedIn, but you don't recommend it yet.
Yeah, I think there's a few things that need to be kind of ironed out first, but they're on their way. I mean, I feel like, again, like LinkedIn Live, LinkedIn events, it hasn't been their main like call to action for their platform. They're still growing. So I think eventually, LinkedIn Live, LinkedIn events will be a lot more streamlined, and also LinkedIn groups. So they're just kind of like behind the curve compared to like Facebook groups and stuff. But every social media platform is trying to emulate the ones that are doing it right.
Right.
So
what is LinkedIn's, we'll take this high level for a few minutes because I don't know that much of what is LinkedIn's main focus these days? Like, do they have a core competency still in a focused direction they're going? Obviously they're adding these new features, but how would you describe it?
I think where Facebook's expertise in business model is geared towards ads. There's so many Facebook ads out there, like advertisers. I think LinkedIn's primary mode of monetizing is through LinkedIn premium products. So, and rightly so, they have really good premium products. They have LinkedIn Learning, where which is basically like the old lynda.com, which is great. You can learn about anything you want. We use Sales Navigator with our system. And the reason why Sales Navigator is so powerful is because they have so many very granular search filters where you can dig into your exact niche. So you can find people who went to the same university as you, who live in the same exact area, who have a similar, who have really high seniority levels, like CEOs, founders, partners, directors of large companies who are decision makers, etc. You can like find your exact person that you want to be reaching out to, and then you can customize messages for that person.
That's awesome. Have you used this? I know we got 5 minutes, so if this is down a rabbit hole, we can save this for another call. But have you used this for targeting, generating listings in any specific way? I'm just thinking of there's so much data in here, and we've had such a focus on trying to generate listings given the low inventory lately. Do you target it all specifically that way, or is it more just general connections about real estate and some of them turn into be listings?
Yeah, so that's like the number one question we get on all of our demos is like, how do I get listings? How do I get listings? We don't know if they're a homeowner, right? But we know that they are, so we can tell if they have a very good job and have been working there for a while. There's a higher likelihood of them being a homeowner. So we can find owners, partners, CEOs of large companies, that have more than 10,000 people, say. So we can find people who are likely to be highly affluent, who likely own a home. Now, the script you have to be a little bit more kind of delicate with. You don't want to say, hey, do you want to sell your home? So rather than that, what we do is we kind of like go around and go, hey, this market is a very unique market where there's very low inventory and there's still very high demand. But with interest rates on the rise, I think demand is going to be going low. It's going to be decreasing. So I think there's a unique opportunity for you to maximize the value of your house. Like, I'm not sure if you own a home, but if you know of anyone who's looking to sell a home, we have a great home valuation link here, which provides very accurate information. If you're interested, or if anyone you know is interested, like, check it out.
Love it. You're just fishing and you're sending them to a home valuation ad.
Exactly. Yep.
You do it through any platform that you want to do that through. I love it. Again, low cost, low time, high targeting rate, and you're just looking for the people who are looking for you.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. It's a numbers game and a timing game. I mean, you can target veterans, you can target healthcare, active military, doctors, alumni, anything that you have like the ability to kind of create rapport for or offer value to. That's a good niche. Like if you did home buying presentations, or if your husband or wife is in, healthcare, or is a police officer, or is in education, anything that you can go, hey, I see you're in education, or hey, I see you're a teacher, or I see you're a professor. That's great. Any way of personalizing the automation process is better.
Yeah, because it makes it feel more authentic and more real, I'd imagine.
Authentic automation.
Authentic. Authentic automation. We'll leave it at that. All right. I got one last question, then I'll let you, if you have any final thoughts you want to wrap it up with. Are people on LinkedIn used to automation and bots? Is it become saturated where people are like, it's another spam bot? Or are they still, it sounds like they're genuine, still people are open and thinking people are, actually messaging each other. What's your take on that?
I think so. Like anything else, I think if you do it correctly, it's not offensive. And so if you take the time to target correctly and you're not just like spamming the world, like, I think it's totally fine and even somewhat appreciated. I mean, think about it. Like when you're going through Instagram, I get frustrated when I get like really random ads that don't make sense to me at all, right? But if I'm put like this like a Nalgene bottle, which I need to buy another bottle, like they happen to catch me looking online, I'm like, oh, I do need that. Or I'm looking for like kids' toys nowadays. And I'm getting these really cool ads from Wayfair. Like they customize these towards me. I appreciate it. I don't have to think so much.
Yeah.
Right. So I think if you do this well and you think about it in the beginning, like people actually appreciate it.
Yeah. I love it. All right. Any other final thoughts? Anything else we want to add before we wrap it up?
I mean, my main call to action for everyone is just like, if you use LinkedIn, just get on there and kind of check it out and start responding to people, posting things, engaging, connecting, and start to kind of like get a feel for the platform. And then you'll get a better idea of how you can leverage it for your business.
I've got my LinkedIn open on my other monitor. I will be accepting that event invite, Casey. I'm there. I appreciate it. You're a wealth of knowledge. You really are. Guys, reach out to Casey. We'll tag him in the show notes and in the Facebook group when we post this episode. Truly, check it out. Casey has an amazing amount of knowledge when it comes to marketing and everything else. Autumn, there's the, we got to see the whole playlist for a minute. We have a Spotify playlist for Agent Power Huddle. She was about to share some music, but if you saw it on the screen for a minute, if you guys are Spotify listeners, just search for Agent Power Huddle. You can hear all the sweet, sweet jams we use, Casey.
I will, definitely.
Thanks for being here, guys. Have a good day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.
See ya.
If you'd like more information or to get connected to the Agent Power Huddle, join our free Facebook group. This call was designed for the agents in our EXP organization, but open to any agent from any brokerage. If you're a guest and you're interested in learning more about EXP or our specific resources within the Agent Collective, reach out to the person who invited you to this call to get more info. Produced by the Agent Collective Media Network.